All right, dude. Anything you want to talk about before the old Mad Lib? I just dropped
Well,
my pen.
uh-oh. Pick it up real slow, like I want to objectify you. Um, how's speaking of objectifying each other, how's the working out? Because we didn't talk about it last week because I had a fever.
You're right. It's been going good. Down another pound. So
Nice.
it's a slow burn. Uh, the lady and I are thinking about getting memberships to the Y, so we'll see.
Nice. Is that one just close? Is that
Hmm.
why you wanted it?
Yeah, it's really close.
Nice. Yeah, because that one gym that's by your comic book shop is awesome. I went there one time whenever you still live close to that, and
Hmm.
that one's very nice, whatever its
Nice.
name is.
I just want to go like 5:30 when it opens because I don't like to work out in front of people.
Yeah,
So having one close by would be nice. I'd hate to drive all the way towards work and then just
yeah,
hang out for a
I
while.
get that. Like, because I've been going to the gym in the mornings. I just like the mornings more. Like, there's still like a crowd, so it's not even like, oh, there's people. It's just like I think it's people that are there to work out. Where like I've gone after work and it's people there to chat, and I fucking hate that so much.
Yeah, get
It's
out of
like,
there.
yeah, it's like I just want, can I just use the squat rack that you're standing in, Isaac Smith, talking to someone about God knows what? It's like, yes, you drove your motorcycle here today. Cool. No joke. One day he just walked around in circles trying to find someone to talk to him about his motorcycle. Just like, why? Why are you here? How sad
Yeah,
is your life, bud?
yeah. Go do that literally anywhere else.
Yeah. No, I was doing good as far as the diet and stuff goes. And this I was like shopping at Aldi, getting groceries, like, I've been doing so good. I deserve myself a little treat. And so I bought some Swiss cake rolls, which are like my one of my favorites, and these like marshmallow cookie, chocolate cookie things. I don't know if you've seen them at Aldi. And then I was like, yeah, I can just portion control. I can, it's not a big deal. I'm tracking everything. They're both gone. I got them Friday. So I'm just like, yeah, you can't keep beer in an alcoholic's fridge. You can't keep Swiss cake rolls in my fucking cabinet, apparently.
Yep, yep. I mean, at least you know at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I diet's the easy part for me. I can just eat salad
Yeah.
whenever.
Me and your mom were talking about that one time. I'm like, I kind of hate it. He just is just like, oh man, dude, I just got these Brussels sprouts and they're awesome. It's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, I'm sure my mom was on your side of things. Yeah, dude, that's I love it seriously, and I know you know this about me. I love fruit. It's the best food group, and I know that it can be a little sugary, but man, I could eat fruit every
I mean,
freaking meal.
this is just if you're listening to this and you're like wanting to get into fitness related stuff though, if there's any personal trainer that you get that goes like, hey, maybe cut back on the fruit, there's a little bit of sugar in there, tell them to go fuck off and get someone that knows what they're talking about. You will be fine if you eat fruit. You have nothing to worry about the sugar and fruit. Like, don't worry.
The problem with fruit, well, not so much for me all the time, but like it just goes bad quickly sometimes. So you
Yeah,
just but then it's like, well, I want to have it all week, but I only want to go to the store once a week.
yeah. The worst for me is like Aldi bananas. I don't know what it is about Aldi bananas specifically. I'll get them green and they'll be like, nope, 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 nope. Well, we're bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even get to try you. Um, I've been having like I love watermelon more than any other fruit, but I've been having so much trouble getting a good watermelon, and it just upsets me to my core.
I understand. And I am with you on the Aldi bananas, but even if they're a little green, I'm cracking into those puppies. But like, say I get a bunch of seven by like day 5, if I have one a day, it's like I might have to have 2 a day these last couple days.
Yeah. Well, I will say with the green one, with the greenies, I'll use those on a smoothie, but I cannot eat a green banana. But like in a smoothie, fine.
Yeah, I can love bananas.
Me too. I eat them the long way. I saw I
Cool.
I saw this. I mean, it doesn't really work because everyone eats bananas the long way. Like, who fucking like if you're like eating like like you're in middle school, like you're sitting at the table and someone's just nom nom, like you're like that kid doesn't have friends. But there was this like I was like I get videos online of like random shit from Instagram, and like one was this podcast talking in wrestling, and like they were watching old Attitude Era wrestling, and it was Goldberg matches, and it was like someone in the crowd had a sign that said Goldberg eats corn on the cob the long way. And like the person
Like
talking about
straight
like,
up and down.
yeah, no, I'm assuming it's like, oh. The person talking about it is like, and I don't think that's true.
Damn, that's funny. Man, Jake's favorite childhood wrestler.
Yep.
Well, Mad Lib,
Let's mat it up, you lib.
that was aggressive.
I know. Dude, really quick. Speaking of like, because I was like, acting like a political pundit. There's this "I think you should leave" sketch on the newest season where it's like, this is the no fly. Like it's like these like stupid, it's like fly zone. You and me. And it's like arguments like a lost thing. And it's like, well, going on and on. It's like, and if I start losing an argument, I'm gonna get on my phone. And then like he just like starts saying something. He said something stupid. The other guy called him out. It's like it's like, no, it's just something. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's so funny.
I need to finish watching that one of these days.
Just turn on at the shop and people will be like, why is there just screaming all the time?
I feel like that's probably not all ages appropriate.
Yeah, no, not at all.
All right, this one's called Ode to Evil Geniuses.
Okay.
Adjective.
Harry.
Noun.
Gold.
Verb ending in ing.
Oof. Fucking.
A place.
Oh man. I'm gonna say like the ditch outside of your house.
Adjective.
Sweaty.
Part of the body.
Ooh. I'm gonna say my taint, but mine specifically.
That doesn't really work here. So
Oh
I'm
well.
going to say taint.
There you go.
Adverb.
Hastily. I should have gone with aggressively because then I could. The next one is whacking it.
A color.
Gray.
A plural noun.
Balls.
Part of the body.
I mean, schlong, right?
Oh, yeah. Verb.
Come.
This is going to be filthy. Adjective.
Aggressively.
Well, just aggressive.
Yeah.
Plural noun.
Tits.
Noun.
Tit.
Okay. Noun.
The other tit.
No. Pick a different noun.
Clam.
My goodness.
A hair clam.
I'm not adding hair. An exclamation.
That's a hair clam.
No, it doesn't really work. You got to choose something kind of normal.
Okay, then shit.
Much better. Again, I'm going to take out in room and just say person.
Okay, let's go with Hilary Duff.
Okay. Used to have such a crush on her.
That one skipped me mostly because my sister liked her show. I'm like, I hate her show. She's fucking ugly.
But she wasn't at all.
No, but still, I had to live up to my brand, you know.
Yep, I get it. All right, here we go. Ode to Evil Geniuses. One quality that hairy geniuses share is a super smart gold brain beneath their hair. Oh, this is a fucking rhyme.
Oh shit.
It helps with plotting, fucking, scheming, and taking over the ditch outside your house dreaming. There's a sweaty look to the evil genius style, a mustache on the taint that grows for a mile.
Perfect.
Two gleaming eyes that seem hastily wild, and crooked gray teeth behind the creepiest smile. A menacing laugh that makes balls quake and causes your schlong to come and shake.
Perfect.
They're all powerful, all aggressive, and all knowing too, with armies of tits that tell what to do. They know math the average tit won't understand, and build clam drones that follow their every command. Shit! Evil geniuses make life fun. Just ask Hilary Duff. After all, they are one.
I'm glad that you don't assume her gender after I just did.
The book doesn't assume their gender.
It's like it knows. Oh, really quick, and we can X this out if you don't want to. Thursday, do you want to release Bleach Anime Boys?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we can talk about that on the main pod. Like, hey, look out for that.
All right. Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Zatanna to my robot man. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Hello, huh? Hello
Okay.
backwards.
Okay.
You get it? Because I'm Zatanna. You know those classic friends, Zatanna and Robot Man.
They are after this week.
Yeah, I remember reading comics back in the day going like, man, these are the best friends out of all the characters in comic books.
Look, it was week appropriate, and we have to throw in some random ones every now and then, not just gay characters.
Fair enough. I mean, Pride Month is over.
Yeah. So, anyway, not a story, but something I wanted to chat about. And I know you've already seen it. But maybe like once every week or every other week, I'll be perusing on the Twitter and I'll see a tweet about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And everybody hates it. The whole thread is just people shitting on it. And I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not what they wanted. That's what I really think a lot of it boils down to. It's just not what they wanted. And also in spots, the special effects weren't the best. And, you know, they try to do fan servicey things, but then the fans were like, "This isn't how we wanted it,"
We
that type of
wanted
thing.
Tom Cruise Iron Man. It's like, but nobody promised that.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, but Reed shouldn't have, spoiler alert, died, or like Peggy should have done better. It's like, no, she shouldn't have. She should have done much worse, really, if you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a super soldier with a shield versus this really powerful person.
Who
What was
can
she gonna do?
warp reality.
Yeah. So
Did you see Haley Atwell shitting on that movie this week? It's
yeah,
like, get over yourself. They gave you another role. Come on.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, and it's one of those things where it's like, dude, you read the script. Like you could have just said, no, thank you. This isn't doing my character justice. You read the script. You knew what was gonna happen. You're just doing
Yeah.
this to hop on the bandwagon now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just trying to get that 2-year-old podcast bump so your little movie, your little indie darling Mission Impossible movie makes some money. And we fell right into it. Beautiful.
Yep, we sure did. Damn you, Haley Atwell.
You did it again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. It's just for a movie that I liked so much, it's not even like mixed reviews. It's just like Jake liked it, our mutual friend Mike liked it. That's it.
I liked it.
Casey liked it. There's
Yeah.
three.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
And
think
really,
it's
the three of us, they're really the only opinions that I care about, anyways, but still.
yeah, no, I mean, that I liked that a lot. And then after I saw Flash, I liked it about 1,000 times more.
Yeah. I mean, dude, even so, I said right after I watched it that it was my new favorite Marvel movie. Even after sitting on it for a while, I still think it is. I still
Yeah.
think that I would watch it again and just have so much fun.
Yeah. I know it still would be my favorite because I'm still not a big Benedict Cumberbatch fan.
Mhm.
And then also you have like you're relying a lot on him, and then Rachel McAdams' character. It's just like, boy, these two wet mops, like, and I normally like Rachel McAdams a lot, but her character is just so boring. And then this, it's like, maybe we could have been in love in this world. Maybe. And then like, oh no, we're not doing that. Like, oh, sorry.
That was the best kissing face I've ever seen. Wow.
That's what Brie gets to see all the time.
Ooh, lucky lady.
Let us know down below
man.
though if you like Multiverse of Madness, or if you were like,
Yeah,
it was fine, or if you're like, it was terrible.
Yeah, seriously,
like
let
The
us know.
Flash is my favorite movie. This is shit.
It's one of those things where we always say that the director doesn't really matter, but I think it did matter in this one. I think it was a Sam Raimi movie.
There was Sam Raimi elements for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
like, there are different things. I was like, yeah, this is really Sam Raimi. I think it's funny that he didn't want the zombie scene. And he
Yeah,
tried
I
to
know,
talk them
right?
away from that because he's like, people will be like, that's something I wanted. And then,
Yeah,
oh, that's gonna be fine.
yeah, but I like that part.
Yeah.
And I really love the scene where Wanda's chasing them through the water tunnels and her eyes are glowing and she's coming up through puddles and shit. So
Yeah.
cool. So cool. Anyway. All right. Let's talk some news. I might
man.
have one more than you, so I can kick us off here.
Yeah, and my one big news, I think, needs to be the end no matter.
Which one's that?
The big news that was announced right after we got off the podcast last week.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Okay. So Cody Ziegler, he writes comics. He writes Miles Morales right now. And he's written some other things too. But he wrote for the She-Hulk TV show, he wrote the episode that featured Daredevil's return. And he shared via Twitter this week that he got $396 for that episode. The episode that was talked about on the internet and in comic shops for weeks. He earned less than $400 for that.
And then, fun fact, the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, gave himself like a $250 million raise.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty, Cody, maybe you should just get to the point where you can give yourself a raise and then you wouldn't have to worry about this.
Yep. Yep. Sounds like a skill issue to me.
Yeah, I mean, come on, just become the CEO, bud. The job where you get to choose how much you're paid and how long you do it.
Yep. Yep. Pretty great.
Okay.
Obviously the strike stuff is heavy on the interwebs here lately, but that was finally one where we could connect it to comic folk, so I had to
Yeah.
bring it up.
Yeah, Timmy Shares he tweets a lot about it because he's been on the writer's strike for a while. Because I think he had a job with Netflix, I want to say. I could be putting words in his mouth, but it sounds like just from his tweets, sounds like he was on writing stuff on Netflix, and Netflix is real bad. Like if you look at the way their CEOs are paid and like how they've been raising prices and giving themselves more money than paying their writers less. Like it's just 100% like boom.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Not
guys,
surprising.
like what the hell? Okay, so we got a Godzilla -1 trailer. It's like very, very minuscule amount of stuff that's going on, but boy, oh boy, it's got my nipples hard. Did you watch it?
Oh yeah.
What'd you think? Because as the non super biased Japanese Godzilla fan, what was
Yeah.
your opinion?
I thought it looked awesome. Like
Right?
like you said, super teasery. You see Godzilla's foot and then you see him for like 1 second, but he looks awesome.
Yeah. And then I love the concept. It's like right after World War II, they were at 0 point, and then Godzilla just is gonna fuck them up even more.
Yep. I love a good period piece, and you throw Godzilla in there. I'm all about it.
Yep.
All right. So, new comic series. They killed Miss Marvel off in Amazing Spider-Man 26 a month ago or whatever. We knew that wasn't lasting forever. That whole thing was to bring her back as a mutant, and they
I just
are.
I just love how it's like, wasn't it last week that her funeral comic came out?
Yeah, like this last week. Yes.
Yeah. And then they're like, right as it came out, they're like, hey, guess what? She's back.
Yeah. They truly
They
I don't
really
know.
marveled themselves this time.
They did. It's a whole new level of marveling. No
Yeah.
time wasted at all. So anyway, the new comic, it's called Ms. Marvel, the New Mutant, and it will be written by Ms. Marvel herself, Iman Vellani, alongside the Ms. Marvel show writer Sabir Pirzada. And then the art will be by Carlos Gomez, and Sarah Pacelli will be doing the covers. I probably wouldn't read it either way, just because I've never read Miss Marvel. Uh, but I know that Iman is supposed to be a super fan of the character. It's one of those things where if I were to read it, it's a celebrity writer. You know what I mean? It's one of
Mm-hmm.
those things where they have to earn it. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully the fans like it. Um, hopefully it's just not she's a celebrity, so she gets to do it sort of thing.
Yeah, I 100% think it's going to be bad. Like I really, really do. And then you add in the fact that, like, I mean, I won't be reading it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm not buying that like a celebrity, a kid celebrity is going to have a really good story to tell with this character, and it's going to be a good one. Then you also have a TV show writer going into it too. It's not like, it'd be different too if it was like, who's the writer that was like that kind of put that brought Miss Marvel and that created her. I'm blanking on the writer's name.
Well, I don't know if she created her, but the popular writer was G. Willow Wilson.
Okay, so like if they had her with what's her name writing it, like the actress, that would be different. But then it's like, oh yeah, you don't even have a comic book writer helping write this. This is not gonna work. Like I would be shocked if people liked it. And then like the fans are already kind of revolting because they're trying to make it more like the movie, the MCU version. So it's like, this is just not good for Marvel, whatever her name is, fans.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
Is Marvel fans. That's the name. I was brain farting.
we all knew what you meant.
I know, but still. Okay, so we got a new Hellboy Web of Weird game trailer. And it looks like the comics, but also looks clunky as all hell. Did you watch that trailer?
I did not.
Yeah, it's just the mechanics of it kind of look clunky, but the styling looks awesome.
Well, I mean, if it's like the comics, then I think that's pretty neat. And I remember the first thing that came out when we talked about this, and I was like, okay, that looks pretty neat.
Yeah, it
Um,
still looks awesome. It's just I don't know how the gameplay is going to be.
yeah, yeah. All right, so Robert Kirkman and Skybound Comics have gotten the license for Universal Monsters, and they're going to be kicking that off with a Dracula comic written by James Tynion, and that is going to launch in October. So
That
be
could be
neat.
cool.
Yep, totally agree. If the art is good, I'll probably check it out because
Yeah.
I like cool monster stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, and hey, we were talking about your favorite Marvel movie earlier, and here's a fun little thing. Anson Mount, who plays Black Bolt, says he's had informal convos with Marvel about coming back as Black Bolt. So that could be pretty neat, especially because I liked his, comic accurate costume.
Yeah.
So I thought that looked cool. I mean, they're gonna have to do a lot of like fixing up the costumes because oh boy, did the Inhumans look like shit in that TV show.
I didn't watch a single thing of that TV show.
I watched like a hot 5 minutes probably, and I'm like, I don't like the Inhumans as is. Holy crap! Way to make me be like, yeah, I'm right in not liking them.
Yeah. They Marvel tried. They
Not
tried
really.
really hard. No, they tried really hard to make Inhumans a thing.
Oh, 100%. And then they get the X-Men back and they're like, we don't need these fuckers.
They're the Toy Story meme. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah. Like even Ms. Marvel, our classic Inhuman character, she's a mutant now. Fuck you guys.
The best looking part, Lockjaw.
Oh, 100%. It's like, couldn't some of that Lockjaw budget go to, I don't know, Medusa? Like, holy crap, what were you guys doing?
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Pretty rough ski. Okay. So Marvel is going to bring a brand new Punisher at they're going to announce that at San Diego Comic-Con. Since that Punisher series just wrapped up, Frank is off someplace else, I forget where. This one's a little bizarre to me. I thought that I didn't think the Punisher was going to go away forever, but I thought he was going to go away for a bit with all the shit that's been, circling around Punisher here lately. It's like, I think it's pretty lame. If you're going to have a Punisher character, it should be Frank. It's just like, then it's just someone else, shooting guns. I don't know. I don't know. I don't read Punisher either way, so.
I remember this once Punisher series where there was a lady that Frank had took in and like was working with, and then like she was very like too angry, and then they had to stop her, and all of that. I think it could work if they're inspired by the Punisher, and then Punisher stops them type thing later on. Like Frank comes in and stops it, puts a stop to it or whatever.
Also, I want to say Cable was Punisher, like a future Punisher at one time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was a thing.
And there was this one character that appeared in Thunderstrike. She was this Cuban lady that was a cop, who's also moonlighting as a vigilante, and then like it set her up to appear in like the Punisher Warzone comics. Like, to find out the rest of her story, check out this. And I'm like, oh, I would love to, but believe it or not, I don't have a comic book shop to go to from the 90s.
um, and I guess I can throw in this other thing with the last bit here, but Marvel is going to be doing a Death of Moon Knight series. Well, not series, final story arc to this current series. That's going to kick off in issue 28, but then I couldn't find a definitive answer. I was seeing stuff that it was going to end at issue 50. Then I also saw something that said 48. So I really don't know.
Yeah.
But Jed McKay said that, you know, it's going to bring an end to the current era Moon Knight and start up a new one. So don't love that, but I've been
It's going to
loving
be
the
the Moon
series
King
enough.
next.
Or someone else is going to take over.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've loved the book so much that I have to trust him on this until he gives me a reason not to. But man, am I sure tired of the death of blank at Marvel. It's
Yeah.
just so fucking old.
I know. Well, last bit of news. Superman Legacy casting news time. Isabella Merkt has been cast as Hawk Girl. Nathan Fillion has been cast as Guy Gardner. Eddie Gathegi has been cast as Mr. Terrific. Anthony Kerrigan has been cast as Metamorpho. You know, all of these classic Superman friends. You know, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, they all are staples of the Superman comic books.
It's just going to be a Justice League scene where Superman swoops in, saves the day, and then that's the last we're going to see of him.
It's just dumb, though. It's like, you haven't, like, this is the first movie. Just give us Superman. If you want to have these other characters be like, oh, yeah, my buddy Nathan Fillion will play Guardian, and then this other guy's gonna play Steel. You know, like this dude that instead, where these are actually characters in Metropolis that Superman has to deal with because he's like. Because James Gunn was trying to justify it, be like, oh, well, it's, you know, we have to show both sides. We have the Clark Kent side and we got the Superman side. It's like, do you only know those characters? Because I mean, Superman's got his other supers that are in Metropolis. You can just show that. It's like
I just don't think there's anything that can come out from this movie that you're gonna like.
no, that's 100% not true. But
well, you're proving otherwise.
no, because this is just dumb. This is like, you're not making a Superman movie. If you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have a Green Lantern, a Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, and a Metamorpho. It's like, oh, okay, you're just gonna have a bunch of characters and not make a Superman movie and make another fucking team up movie. Got it.
Okay, if they're in it for more than one scene, then I think that's a valid argument. But I really think it's just going to be a throwaway scene. Let's be real. Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner is not going to be in more than 2 minutes of this movie.
That's a waste of Guy Gardner. So like, there's nothing about that makes me go, this is a good call.
I mean,
I've heard it's actually Justice Society is what's going to be the team.
I mean, that makes more sense than the League with those characters. Whatever. I mean, I don't care. It's going to be neat to see him for a sec because that's all it's going to be. I'm not looking into it that much.
I don't know. It's coming off more and more like James Gunn going, the story I want to tell. I don't know why that's his voice, but he's like, the story I want to tell is an ensemble cast story. So I got my whole team. It's like, it's not necessary, bud. Just tell a Superman story.
Well, maybe you'll eat your words.
I have a feeling I'm going to be like, you know what would make the perfect Superman movie? If Zack Snyder and James Gunn just combine their two shitty movies and make one good one.
You know damn well that tomorrow he's gonna come out with some earth-shattering news, and at the top of it's gonna be "fuck you, Two Worlds Podcast."
Hope so. Hope he's listening to it right now.
He has to be.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation for him
Yeah.
releasing news the day after we record twice.
Yeah. Hey, James, maybe, make a third Scooby Doo movie. Those were actually very good.
They are good.
They really were. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. It's like, I would say probably third best Scooby Doo movie. His one and two.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
Zombie Island is number one, and then Witch's Curse is number two.
Yeah. Ooh, I haven't watched Witch's Curse in a hot minute.
100%. I figured you'd have that one. Like you would watch that a good bit because it's Tim Curry, and then the Hex girls are like at least high school Jake, something that he would have drooled over.
Will they put a spell on me?
Oh man, they will. 100%.
All right. That is it for the news. So now it's
Tell,
time to review our comics.
I was just gonna say, tell us what you guys think. Do you think I'm just being a negative Nancy on all of this, which probably am, or do you think me being worried is fair?
All right. What did you read this week?
So I read Night Terrors number one, Night Terrors The Flash number one, Night Terrors Shazam number one, Night Terrors Green Lantern number one, Wildcats, Dark Ride, Unstoppable Doom Patrol, Jeff Lemire, Fishflies, Lost or Superman Lost 5 of 10, and World's Finest Teen Titans number one. What about you, man?
I read Night Terrors Flash, Night Terrors 1, Night Terrors Zatanna, Loki number 2, Scarlet Witch 6, Moon Knight 25, The Hunger and the Dusk number 1, What If Dark Loki, World's Finest Teen Titans, Superman Lost 5, and Fishflies 1.
Right on. Yeah, you just want to start with the Night Terrors and then just go from there.
Yeah. You take the lead on regular Night Terrors because I do not have my copy.
Okay, so Night Terrors number one by I'll find the whole thing. Joshua Williamson and art by Giuseppe Camuncoli and Stefani Nessi. First off, loved the art in this issue. Thought it was awesome. We get a lot of Deadman here, kind of more info on this new bad guy who I'm like, not super sold on. I don't know. I think there's certain aspects of him that are kind of neat, but yeah, he doesn't really do it for me. Deadman takes over Batman's body, which was pretty fun. Yeah, like I really like this issue though, and then the end I'm not even like a big like as big of a fan of this character as you are, but that end had me hyped. So what about you, man?
Nah, I liked it a lot. I think this is a fun series. I get what you mean about Insomnia, but I just want to learn more about him. So,
Yeah.
and I know that we'll get that in the coming issues, but yeah, I mean, I overall liked Night Terrors last week, and it's the same deal this week. So,
Yeah. What do you think about that last page?
I'm pumped.
Yeah, man.
I'm probably like a good 8.5, I think.
Yeah, I'm feeling an 8 for this one.
Cool.
All right. Do you want to do Flash next?
Yeah, I'll do Flash next. So Night Terrors Flash number 1. It's written by Alex Packnadell with art by Daniel Bayliss. Now, real quick, I had to go back and check the credits when I was reading this because I got halfway through and I was like, this looks like Francis Manipul's art.
In like spots, it does.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Which is a good thing. I
Yeah.
thought the art was good in this book, but I really like parts of this book where like stuff is just slightly off for Barry, and they're treating it like it's no big deal, but he's like, whoa, stuff's really weird. So like the creepy parts hit, But man, I gotta be real. Like a monster in the Speed Force just sounds like spin the wheel on a Flash story. And
It sounds like something that you'd be like, oh, Grant Gustin's Flash show. This is what's happening in this episode,
yep,
like that type of
yep, for
nonsense.
sure. So yeah. More good than bad. Mostly just okay, but there were a few parts that I really enjoyed. How about you?
Yeah, I like parts of it, like the Parallax Green Lantern showing up. That was crazy. Didn't see that coming. Um, Barry going throughout, time to try to save Kid Flash was interesting. Uh, the way Grodd's written is really well. The stuff at the Iron Heights where they're like ripping their eyelids off so they don't fall asleep and stuff is crazy.
Yeah,
There's different, like that stuff all worked, but there's just different little things where I'm like, I don't know. Didn't Other spots just didn't quite do it for me. Like just the way stuff was kind of written as a whole, and it's like, yeah, you can just chalk it up to being nightmares, but at the same time, I don't know. Things just, like I said, didn't super work for me at times, but it worked enough. But
I
yeah,
have to say I really do appreciate, and multiple Night Terrors books do this, but the little asterisk, like as told in issue, like they're calling out JSA classified, like
yeah,
that's stuff that I actually read, and I
yeah,
I really appreciate the callbacks of some of that stuff. So that part um was a big hit for me. But
yeah.
um I'm like a 7.
That's actually exactly where I'm at with this one too. Like it's good. It's nothing that's gonna make you go, thank God I read this. My life, is perfect now. But it's fine. Okay, and then you didn't read Green Lantern or Shazam, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so then I'll talk about Night Terrors Shazam. And this one is by Mark Waid with Roger Cruz on the art. Roger Cruz's art's really good. This is a Mary Marvel Night Terror story. Um, Art's, like I said, art's good. Story itself, I'm not super hot on it. It doesn't, like the other ones feel like they're connected to the Night Terrors verse. This kind of feels, to me anyway, not as much because it's like there's times where Mary's waking up and then it's like, did she wake up or didn't
Ooh,
she?
Inception.
Well, like, because it's just like, she'll wake herself up and then they'll be like, hey, why'd you wake up? And then she'll see a bug that tells her to go back to sleep, but then it'll be like, oh, she shows her constantly waking herself up and all this stuff. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just too convoluted in spots for me. Like maybe it's just because we had that Josie Campbell Mary Marvel book where it was like super fucking good. This one just did not hit like that at all for me.
Yeah.
But we see like her nightmare is like an evil Billy, so that was kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, it's fine. I'll finish this story because I'm sure it's gonna get better. But
You'll buy the second issue, the second
yeah,
and final issue.
yeah. Um, I'll buy 50 of them.
What?
If Mark keeps this going for 50 issues, I'll buy all 50.
Oh, I thought you meant you're gonna buy 50 copies of number 2.
Yeah, only for the variant.
Yeah, right on.
But yeah, so it's like I said, it's fine. Probably like a 7 again. Like it's nothing that, it's not knocking anybody's socks off.
I'll say before continuing, the tie-ins to this event are way more enjoyable than the average event tie-in from the big two, for me personally.
I mean, I would agree, mostly because most of the time with the other ones, it's like they just kind of go, let's just do something. And this one at times feels like it. That's kind of how this Shazam one felt. But then, like, we'll get to with Night Terror's Green Lantern and some of the other ones where it's like, this is just a good story, like
Mm-hmm.
that goes like really well into this whole thing. So, I mean, some of them work better than others, but for the most part, they all just kind of seems like they're trying. Where the other ones, it's like, nah, we want one writer to write, one oversized book that's 10 stories.
Right. All right. My next Night Terrors book is Zatanna. I'm a little surprised you didn't go for it, Casey. I thought that Zatanna would be just weird enough for you to check out.
I mean, I like Zatanna, but it's also like there's a lot of books. And I'm also, even though I have a few Night Terror books, I'm like, I'm not getting sucked in.
You're only half sucked in.
It's like, well, I mean, like I read Flash, I read Green Lantern, I read Shazam, so that's why I picked those up. I'm like, you're not doing this to me again. I've read Darkest Night, I read Dark Crisis, I read Death Metal.
Yep.
Fool me 3 times. You're not gonna keep doing it.
All right. Night Terrors Zatanna. It's written by Dennis Culver and it's drawn by David Baldion. I liked it a lot. Probably my favorite Night Terrors book so far. Um, so Zatanna, Wonder Woman, Detective Chimp are down underneath the Hall of Justice. Zatanna is trying to protect Wonder Woman and Chimp, and these creepy knights, nightmare knights, are there trying to get after him too, along with their sleepless queen, who has a dope design. So Zatanna just cries out, backwards, "Bring me a champion." And who shows up but Robot Man? And he shows up and he goes, "What the fuck?" Which I thought was hilarious and very in character for him. And there's some like unfriendly back and forth banter, but of course, by the end of it, they're friends. And man, just a good time, really good time. They get Chimp and Wonder Woman to uh the Hall of Justice magic panic room. They have to go through a maze to get there, which is pretty neat. Uh, they're fighting an undead Zatara and some friends of Cliff's, like what's like Dorothy. Dorothy's there and Josh. So good stuff, really good stuff. They get there, and then at the end, spoiler alert, the Sleepless Queen stabs Cliff through the back and transforms him into one of her knights called the Rust Bringer. And he looks like this, which is pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Now go forth and bring Zatanna into our fold." It's like, man, this is super fun. I just had a great time with it.
You know, it'd be really gross if one time the Blob said that. He's like, "Bring her to my folds."
Yeah, that would be a much different comic. Um, yeah, I loved everything about this. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Good stuff.
Is that your pick of the week?
It's not. It would be. It would have been, but then I read one of these other books.
Oh, okay.
Lips right on the mic.
Okay, so next up, it's Night Terrors Green Lantern by Jeremy Adams and Eduardo Pansica on the art. So, yeah, the starts off with the last one, left off with the plane. Hal's like, I know something's going on, so he runs to the cabin, and he hits the door, and then he's at his dad's funeral, and now he's a kid again. And so, like, unlike Barry and a lot of these other people, he's like kind of picking up, like, he's got the power to overcome great fear. Like, that's his superpower, basically. So he is seeing this shit and he's able to overcome it. And so they have to like switch the dreams up on him again. And it keeps doing that. Like, different things keep happening. He keeps overcoming it. He's got all this willpower. And it even says, hey, I finally figured out what your greatest nightmare is. And then it's something big. It's a big old baddie, which I kind of saw coming as a Green Lantern fan, but I won't spoil it. And then we get a Sinestro backup story, which didn't care too much for. It's a little too weird. I mean, I'll show you the last page because why not?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't into it. But that's by Alex Segura and Mario Fox Foculi. And I have a feeling like the Sinestro stuff will be important later on because I know he's gonna have a part in the Jeremy Adams run, so I kind of need to know what's going on there. But yeah, that stuff didn't do it, and that kind of brings down the book. But the main story was super good, so I'm gonna go probably a 9, even though that Sinestro story sucked. Like if that wasn't in there, this would be a 10. Like this book was really
Nice.
good.
I will read it. I just didn't get to it today.
Yeah.
All right. I have 5 non-mutuals.
I just have 3, so I'll let you go first.
All righty. I will talk about Loki, number 2. It's written by Dan Waters with art by Germán Peralta. And it's just as great as the first one. Cool mythology stuff. The dwarves capture Loki, and they're having like a big old fight because one has the axe made of the undead fingernails, which was gross in the first issue, but one side has that, and the other side has a spear made out of dragon bone that like shoots mystic fire. So these two sides are going at it. And then because they've captured Loki, one of them takes his crown and reforges it into a bow, which looks cool. But because it's full of all that devious mystic magic, it just kills the dwarf that shoots it instead of any projectile at all, which I thought was pretty cool. But the person that shoots it was the son of the guy that has the axe made out of gross fingernails. And that just kind of takes all the oomph out of that dwarf. And he's like, here, take your damn axe, get out of here. And so Loki does. And he's like, all right, time to go find the last piece. And the last piece is apparently in New York. Some guy just has it in a briefcase and he tries to sell it to the owl. I think that's his name, right? Isn't the owl just a Marvel character?
Yeah. It's Owlsley.
Yes, that guy. But Owlsley, I don't know. Like it never shows what's in the briefcase, what the item is. He just opens it and he's like, I don't want this. Get out of here. But then like his eyes start to bleed and he freaks out. And then it's like a to be continued. So but next issue, like the little next issue at the end shows Wiccan and Hulkling. So that could be pretty fun. Yeah, I like this book a lot. I'm gonna give this one a 9. Really not much to complain about. It's just a good miniseries starring Loki, and it's pretty, heavy in the mythology stuff, which y'all know that I like. So, Dan Waters, that son of a bitch, he did it again.
So is that one your pick of the week?
No.
Okay. Okay, so next up, it's Wildcats number 9 by Matthew Rosenberg and boy, I should have prepped. And Danny Kim and Tom Derenick on the art. So Grifter's still going to boot the different universes, and then the other people are planning. They're dealing with the old Court of Owls and stuff. It's a good book. It's just a lot of fun. Cole Cash's brother's there. He fight, in Grifter's
Cole's
universe.
Cash?
Yes, Cole's Cash's brother.
Sorry, I had to say it.
And then yeah, it's a good time. I just like it.
But when does Cole's Cash expire?
That's the thing, Jake. This one never expires.
What?
Yeah. But also all you can get with it is like a scarf.
Oh.
Tell us down below, what would you buy with Cole's Cash?
Yeah, let's hear it.
But
I'm glad that you like it though.
Yeah. I mean, this is a book I'd recommend to anybody. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
The DC knows what they're doing because all of the variant covers feature some artist drawing Zealot looking super hot, and it's like,
yeah,
you almost get me every single time.
And then that new Birds of Prey book, it's like let's make her modest. Like, no, let's not.
Yeah, make her the opposite of modest.
Let's just keep her how she was.
Yeah, exactly.
Let us know down below. Should Zealot stay the same, or does she need to be a little bit more modest?
What did you rate that, by the way?
8.
8. Okay. All right, next for me, Scarlet Witch, number 6, written by old Steve Orlando with Lorenzo Tametta and Sarah Pacelli on the art. I picked up the variant cover because it's neato. It's got Mommy Agatha on there.
Nice.
Yeah, this one was another good one. It also has Wiccan and Hulkling in it, as well as this last of her kind cosmic monk, and she wants revenge on these blood scrolls for killing off all of her people. But the scrolls are part of the new Kree Skrull Empire that Hulkling is in charge of. So she goes through the last door. Wanda's there. All that gets explained. Wanda's like, well, the the leader of the Kree Skrull Empire is married to my son, so I can get you an audience. And they go there. Hulkling gives them his sword so that they can go kill the leader of the Blood Scrolls, which isn't something that I thought that they would let happen, but they do. And that was enough to appease this cosmic monk. She's like, all right, I killed the leader that told everybody to kill my people. The rest of them can do whatever at this point. So yeah, Wanda takes her to that one lady that I thought was Warrior Woman that tried to kill her for a couple issues because she thought she'd fit in well there. And then at the end, Magneto shows up. So, yep, next, magic and magnetism.
Ooh.
Yeah, fun issue. Gonna give it like an 8.5. I was kind of over it with that Warrior Woman stuff, but it's back to normal, and I like the normal.
So is this the pick of the week?
No.
Okay. Next up, it's Dark Ride, issue 7 by Joshua Williamson and Andrea Bressan on the art. So yeah, we get some backstory with the old mom of these two little freaks, and the dad's there, and they're just all talking and stuff. Stuff's crazy. It's a cool book. I like it a lot. This old guy's got some daddy issues, and then he's gonna get to go see his daughter. I liked it. Read fast. It's a good book, and it's one of those things too where I'm like, I don't know where the hell it's going. Even though it did read fast, I'm like, I don't feel like we got a lot in it. Like it's just a little bit of backstory here and there, just not much to move the story along. So that's the one knock on it. So I'm gonna go probably 8.5 out of 10. I like that book a lot though. If you're a Williamson fan, you should for sure be checking it out.
Nice. I am a Williamson fan, and I'm not checking it out.
You're missing out, bud.
I know. Mayhaps in trade. All right. Next for me, The Hunger and the Dusk. I ordered this book because it sounded cool on the FOC, and I'm glad that I did. Check out this cool fantasy cover.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Any of those characters in that book?
What?
Any of them in there?
Yeah, all
It'd
of
be
them.
funny if you're like, no.
No.
It's actually about this banker.
It's written by G. Willow Wilson with art by Chris Wildgoose. And it was fun. There's like this meeting between the orcs and men because some greater force comes out during the dusk and is just insanely fast and powerful and killing people from both sides. So the orcs and humans who have been at war for a very long time decide that they should party up to deal with this. So we get our two main characters, one from the humans, one from the orcs. The human is a warrior and the orc is a healer. And lots of cool fight scenes between the Dusk creatures and the orcs and humans. And yeah, then the two characters walk off to deal with that problem. So really good, strong first issue for a fantasy comic. I think writing a fantasy comic, episodically like this would be tough because it's like, do you focus on world building or characters or action? This is a pretty good mix of all of it. So I'll definitely be picking up the second issue, and really kind of the first thing I've read by G. Willow Wilson, I think. So yeah, kind of made me a fan of her. Hopefully it continues. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Was that the pick of the week?
It was not.
Okay. So next up, it is Unstoppable Doom Patrol, issue 4 of 7 by Dennis Culver and David LaFuente on the art. So yeah, it's just basically them all doing a therapy session. So like this would have been like a really good issue 1 where it's kind of like setting stuff up and like kind of giving all of the characters backstories. And like some of it, I'm like, I don't know, because like it gets to Larry Trainer, for instance, and like I read some of Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, and I don't understand a lot of Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, especially the stuff with Larry Trainer, because he was Negative Man in that, but then he didn't want to be Negative Man anymore. And then the spirit combined, I think it's like the spirit combined with the Russian spirit or something. And then Negative Man became like a negative person because it was like two genders in one. And they no longer had a sex. Larry wasn't there anymore. They bypassed all of that. I think like the writer was like, I don't understand this either, Casey. Don't worry. And then like I'm pretty sure because they talk about Elastigirl dying. I'm pretty sure Larry died too originally, unless that's been retconned along with Robot Man, but they didn't bring that up with Robot Man. And I mean Robot Man kind of because he talks about how he can't die now and stuff. But yeah, they all kind of did they went through all their stuff, including Beast Girl or whatever her name is. And she's the most well put together out of all of them. And then the chief won't talk to her, won't talk to the therapist. But yeah, it's solid enough. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Art's good. Like they do some cool stuff with the splash pages. I'll show you some of those with the therapy sessions. Like it just kind of covers everything per splash page. Does that for all of the characters. Like
I like Elastigirl grinding up on
Flex Metallic.
Flex. Yeah.
So it's like I said,
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah. And it works really well. There's some times where I'm like, oh, this, like I don't like how Crazy Jane's drawn, like that's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's solid art, solid story, but it's just could have been earlier. And I don't think they told enough too about what happened prior. And that's what it seems like the whole point of this issue. And it didn't move the plot really along at all. It was just kind of like, hey, this mini series we're doing, here's some stuff about these characters you might not have known. We're not going to go into too much detail. So that's why it's getting a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough. All right. What if Dark Loki? It's written by Walt Simonson, and the art is done by Scott Eaton. And it was a fun book. If you like Walt Simonson's Thor, you're going to like this. It's just what if Loki was finally able to lift Mjolnir and he fucking killed Thor and he killed Odin and Heimdall and Sif, they're all dead, and he releases the Fenris wolf, and Jormungandr, the world serpent. He's like, hey, your greatest enemy Thor is dead. Let's get Ragnarok going. And Hela's there, and the ice giants and the trolls, and Surtur and his forces from Muspelheim show up. And basically everybody turns on each other, because who couldn't see that coming a mile away. And Surtur initiates Ragnarok, destroys all life and all the universes, but then out in the void, Mjolnir is still there and finds Loki's corpse. And then you see the words, "Let there be light." And then a big explosion of planets and rocks and colors happens. And that's how it ends. So it's just a fun one shot featuring Ragnarok and Rebirth. But just, man, he did a Ragnarok arc in Thor. This is what if Loki won. And I think that's super fucking cool. So 9 out of 10, still not the pick of the week, believe it or not. But super fun. If you like what if stories, definitely check out the Loki one.
Right on, man. Okay, so just Muchies now?
I've got one more.
Oh, then go ahead.
Moon Knight, number 25. And it's written by Jed McKay. And the art is by Partha Pratim, Alessandro Capuccio, and Alessandro Vitti. This book was fucking awesome. So there's a new Black Spectre, and he's kind of pulling the strings on Mark's old mercenary group, killing all of them off one by one. And Mark's trying to fight him or find him. Like, even Stephen Grant is going into prison questioning Zodiac. And then we get a lot of background stuff showing that old crew with Frenchie and his old love interest and stuff like that. The back and forth works really well. It's just enough flashback to make you care, and then it jumps forward to what's going on now and why those two things tie together and why it matters. But one of the coolest parts of this book is 8-Ball comes back, but he makes 8-Ball like just a real person. So he's kind of like helping out Mark, and Mark's just like, oh, what's said here? Oh, 8-Ball is like, he's like, hey, what happened to your pilot? It's like, we don't talk to anymore. Why, are you looking for a job? And 8-Ball's like, what? Would that be so crazy? He's like, don't tell me you know how to pilot a helicopter, 8-Ball. It's like, are you kidding? I'm a jet propulsion engineer. I designed and built a hovercraft in the shape of a ball rack, for God's sake. I even flew it around. It's like, then what the hell are you doing robbing banks with a pool ball on your head? And he just goes into his backstory about he had a problem with gambling and it fucked up his whole career. And it's like, sometimes it's easier just to be the guy everyone thinks you are, He's like, actually, I do know. But it turns out that 8-Ball was there under Black Spectre. But 8-Ball runs away and he's like, I'm sorry, Moon Knight. He was gonna kill me. I'm sorry. And he runs off. But one of the best parts is that at the end, right before Moon Knight actually gets taken out, 8-Ball shows back up and saves him. And it's like, fuck yeah, I'm rooting for 8-Ball in this book, man. Like he's gonna turn it all around. But man, I want to highlight some of the pages. I mean, just fucking stellar artwork in this book. Yeah. Anyway, like Mountain Marco. Man Mountain Marco shows up, and a bunch of other characters show up that Moon Knight's like beat the shit out of, either way in the past or in this series. Black Spectre gets them all together to gang up on Moon Knight, but he does overcome. God, here's another page.
That's nice.
It's like Rod Rice almost, just
Mm-hmm.
how he does that shit. I love it. Um, but anyway, at the end of everything, Eight Ball saves Moon Knight, and Black Spectre finds out, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, Eight Ball." And Moon Knight, this is essentially just the beginning, and then it cuts to Zodiac in prison. He gets broken out of prison by Black Spectre, along with a couple others. I guess there was a previous Black Spectre, and then one or two others, and they're all just going to gang up on Moon Knight. And I assume it's all going to be a part of this Death of Moon Knight thing. But yeah, this book had everything. And it's a thick boy. It was $10, but it was all story. And one of those issues where I'm like, fine with it. It was
Yeah.
actually worth the $10.
Nice.
So sorry, I was kind of long-winded about it, but I really liked it. It was really good stuff.
So, was this the pick of the week?
It was the pick of the week. This gets a 10 out of 10 for me. And for all you 8 Ball fans out there, this one's for you. So
Chris
good
Farley
shit.
would be so happy right now.
Who?
Chris Farley would have been
Chris
so
Farley.
happy.
Yes, he
Oh
would
wait,
have.
it was John Belushi. That wasn't it? He had the 8 ball that
Yeah, I think it was
yeah, it would have
Belushi. I
been
think it was
Belushi that would have been
Belushi.
so happy right now. Okay, you want to do Fishflies, Superman Lost, Teen Titans?
Sure.
Okay. So Fishflies by Jeff Lemire. It's a weird book. We start off with some
Yep.
kids, dealing with some just they call them fish flies. It makes me think of locusts. You've been around in like Shelbyville when the locusts get really bad, right? Yeah, that's
Oh
what it
yeah.
makes me think of. And yeah, that they dare the kid to walk into the store with his shoes off, and probably shouldn't have taken that dare, but
Which, by the way, I don't care how much money you're offering me. Fuck no. Fuck no, am I doing that?
I do it. I don't
No,
care.
this is disgusting. I'm reading this whole thing and I'm just like shuddering. I hate bugs. I hate bugs.
That's why you gotta squish them in your toesies.
I need you to stop.
But yeah, no, I liked it, but I don't know. It like this is just like all set up for the ending, basically, like that's how it felt to me with this book. What do you think?
I actually liked it. I thought it was creepy. It was cool. The art is good as always. Fran is a little weirdo, and I liked her character too. And then at the end, she's gonna have this pet fish fly, man.
Yeah.
But Jeff's last few books have been knockouts, so I think this one probably will be too. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm 100% in on it because, like, for the most part, especially the books where he's drawn, I've liked it. And for then regular Jeff Lemire books, I just like in general. But then when he's drawn it too, it's like, yeah, this is really good. This issue, though, I'm not super sold on it yet, but Jeff Lemire gets benefit of the doubt no matter what. So I'm probably at a 6 on it, but I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. I liked it more than you. Also, this last week, a complete collection of his Royal City came out. Did you ever read that?
I don't think I did. I
Okay.
don't know.
Thinking about maybe adding it to my list of trades I'll read in 40 years,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Reading this is just like, man, I want to read more of his stuff now.
Well, hey, dude, but this is something we'll announce, I'm planning on doing a YouTube exclusive thing where I review trades. Jake's welcome to hop on and give himself an excuse to start reading his pile of trades, just like I'm getting an excuse to read my pile of trades.
Well, hey, if you want, because one that I've really been wanting to read is Essex County. If you want to do like a little book club for the YouTube, we could do Essex County.
We can do that, but I want to because we can talk about this off the air. But my plan is to get like my birthday pile done and then recorded, and then I can worry about the next ones.
Yeah, for sure. I love that idea. I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Superman Lost, number 5. It's written by Priest with art by I know the last name is Pagulion. Pagulion. I don't know his first name. And also I know I butchered the pronunciation anyway, so I'm sorry. But anyway, this is a good and very strange book.
Mm-hmm.
Carlo, that's his first name, Carlo. But anyway, I liked it. The end, I was not expecting that to happen. I don't know how you felt about all that,
Yeah. I didn't
but
see that happening either.
we get this Green Lantern, not Green Lantern lady, and maybe she's not so good. So I like it. The parts that I don't really love is like the lowest parts, sadly, because I've not really read enough Lois to say one way or the other, but it's like it's just kind of weird how she's shit talking Diana a little bit, but then being like, oh, but I still want to use your rope, you know? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I get it because it's like, uh, two women that aren't friends and one is a literal goddess. You're gonna be like, yeah, and then your husband hangs out with this literal goddess all the time, and you don't hang out with her at all. You'd probably be like, yeah, I don't care much for this literal goddess that you're hanging out with all the time, Superman.
Okay, but at the same time, it's Superman.
Yeah,
She
it's
knows.
yeah, but still, I mean, I'm just saying, I can get where Lois is coming from.
I can too, especially in this scenario where Clark's being all weird.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know.
and then again, too, it's also like Lois is going through a lot, so like that, beginning she's not the best, but the other parts of it I do like. I mean, it's clear she's working at this and stuff, so it makes sense. And I
Mhm.
will just say nothing happens. Superman's a better man than me.
Better man than most of us.
But yeah, I do like this book a lot. I think its momentum is slowing down from like the first two issues. That first issue was like, holy shit. And like it's still good, it's still interesting, but it's like I kind of was hoping it's not exactly what I was hoping for with this book, where I was hoping it would be like more Superman hopping around world to world, not just staying on one world trying to whatever.
Yep.
So that's my one knock on it, but I still liked it a lot. I'm gonna go 9.
I think I'm at like a 7. The slow burn is really starting to take its toll on me.
I
I'm
gotcha.
gonna see it through because I
Yeah.
I think that it will pay off, but just a slower issue is all.
Yeah. And then last but not least, World's Finest Teen Titans by Marcus Wade. That's not his real first name, but Mark Wade. And then I'm trying to find the artist because DC doesn't like to put them all in the
It's
same
Emanuela
spot.
Lupacino.
Emanuela Lupacino on the art. And this book's fun. This is a fun time. What do you think of it?
I hate to say it, man. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why just okay? Just because how they're kind of fighting at the end with a little bit of angst?
No, the angst is fine. I think Mark is kind of doing that. This is how I think the kids talk.
Yeah,
And
no, I get that.
having Roy use the term sus, it just doesn't do it for me.
It
I
was
get
pretty
I
it was
get that
pretty
it
funny.
I get that it's not supposed to be like a serious book, but it still just kind of takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And also just let's stream this. It's just like, dude, we just did this with blue and gold. It's
At least we're
it's
not getting like people talking about it while they're streaming.
yet, yet.
But I liked the part when each of them were talking to their, different people. So like Flash is talking to Kid Flash talking to, Flash and all that stuff. And then like, Speedy's talking to the greatest mentor ever. No one, because Green Arrow sucks.
And then you cut to Batman who just no.
Yeah.
Art's
But
really good though.
mhm.
Really good.
Love the art, and I have a strong like for the story. Like I do think it's funny that there's like a part where they're like, oh, it was, oh yeah. I love how the cover says the original team is back. Never in the original team.
Yep.
Just so you guys that aren't watching this, they're just listening. Bumblebee is not in the original team, Mark.
Mark knows that. He knows everything.
He does. He's probably listening to this like, well, actually, if you look at this cover that I have memorized in my brain, she was there.
Like, damn it, Mark. You got
You
us
got
again.
us again.
And also, come talk with us, please.
Never. But yeah, no, I like this a good bit. I'm going 8.5 though.
I'm going 7.5.
And just so you know, my pick of the week was probably the Green Lantern.
Nice. I will say that Chris Samney cover though, oof, real good. Yeah. Real good.
So what are you excited for though, man?
Well, why don't you go first? Because I don't have it pulled up.
Okay. I'll say Last Ronin again, Superman, and then the Wonder Woman. I'm not a huge like I said, I'm not all in on the Night Terror stuff, but that Wonder Woman one should be pretty sweet. So let's see how that goes.
For sure, man. For me, I'm gonna go Hawk Girl. Looking forward to that series debut. Also, the new Red Sonja series is kicking up, so I'm gonna go with that one. And then probably World's Finest. It might be the last issue.
I think it is.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
So, I just thought something really funny. I hope the next issue of this World's Finest Teen Titans book, they just like one of them just says, "Boy, our new stuff is bussin'."
What if it does though?
I would drop it. I would drop it, and I would drop every Mark Waid book. Like I love Mark so much, but like,
but that's how I felt when Roy's like, it's pretty sus.
Like sus is like that's annoying. But bussin', like that just like boils my blood. Like Brie will say that, and I'll be like, that's the dumbest thing on the planet. Stop.
Oh, she says it unironically.
Yeah.
Oof.
She has a niece, so and they talk a lot. So I'm blaming it on that, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four time. Since we're talking like old men. What since Night Terrors is going on and I didn't have time to prep for a Fantastic Four, I was just thinking while we were doing this podcast, what character would you most want to be in the dreams of?
Not nightmares, just dreams.
Just dreams, unless you want to give them some nightmares.
Gosh, interesting. Let's say Plastic Man, because those dreams are bonkers.
Yeah.
I'll say Thor, because I'm sure his dreams are just full of cool fights and stuff like that. For some nightmares, gosh, I'm so unprepared for this. When did you type up the question?
While we were doing comics.
Oh God, I don't know. Ma Kent and
dude, she gets freaky.
probably. And fucking Blue Jay or whatever her name is from DC. I don't know. Your turn.
I'm gonna say Wolverine. I want to like basically just leave like watching his dreams while he's like having a bad nightmare. And then I just want to like touch his belly and be like, like his dream belly, like, hey buddy, it's gonna be okay. He's like, oh Casey, what are you doing here? I'd be like, let's go on an adventure, bud. And then we'll have a nice dream. And he's like, oh, this has been the best dream I've ever had. And then I'll be like, but dude, you're teaching class and you forgot pants. And you're like, no. And then I go into his nightmare. Then I'd want the red tornado just to see if androids do dream of electric sheep.
Or it'd be real boring.
Yeah.
Because nothing's happening.
And then Solomon Grundy. That could be cool. No story there, just Solomon Grundy. And lastly, I'll say Galactus. He's just dreaming of some big old planets to eat. He's like, this one's got some critters on it. It's gonna be tasty.
Some critters.
Yeah, that's what he calls us humans. It's got them critters.
All right. I think that's the end of the episode.
Yep.
Closing plugs. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please go to our YouTube channel. It's 2Worlds Podcast on YouTube and subscribe.
Is our Threads account the same as our Instagram, or do we have a Threads account?
I think we do. I did just to do it. I need to see if it can post there too. I'm sure it probably can.
Yeah, you need to get to posting that because it's like new. So you need to be like, yeah, get that audience early.
For sure.
Oh, and then Thursday we'll be releasing a new anime, boys. It's gonna be Bleach.
Yep.
So that's gonna be cool. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And then tell us down below, whose dreams do you want to be in? Mine or Jake's?
All right, guys, we'd love to stay in chat, but I have to go rescue Casey from being the new Rustbringer. Casey. All right, bye, guys.